How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to the channel. Now, to those of you that are new, I ask that you guys, if you like what you're watching, you like what you see, click that subscribe button, and I need you guys to go ahead and hit that like button and share. Now, there's a notification tab up on the right hand side in the shape of a bell that'll notify you every time I put something new out. Click that so that this way you guys can be kept up to date with my material. Now, as far as this continuation of the first part, this KoG war happened because, unfortunately, I guess you could say two captains just didn't agree with whatever the terms were. And apparently, KoG, I guess you could say, kind of snapped back a little too strong, at the wrong type, at the wrong person, really. Because, when you think about it, when you have an alliance that's, obviously stronger than you, bigger than you, and at the same time surrounding you, and regardless of what kind of transpired in the past, if this alliance is reaching out to you, trying to get you to, to join up with them, to grow with them, to, align yourself with them, you gotta keep that in mind, because most of the time these alliance people, they're not gonna give you those kinds of opportunities. They're just gonna hit you. They're gonna destroy you without even giving you any warnings, without even trying to give you any options. They'll just come at you, hit you, and that's it. Done. I give Sky a lot of respect and a lot of prop, because at least they tried to go out and reach out to these people and be like, hey, look, listen, we're trying to grow, we're trying to make things bigger, we're trying to make things better, and we need you, regardless whether you join us or not, we need you to relocate. But we'd like to extend to you the offer to join us, to be a part of us, so that we can grow together, and that part of the conversation, I was on point with. But these guys, unfortunately, I'm not sure what they thought, and it cost them, and it cost them big, and you're gonna see from these, from these videos that, wars can be very, very costly. Those that go to war a lot know how expensive it can be to get your troops completely wiped out, and then having to start all over. It takes a special person to lose over 4 or 5 million in power because their troops have been completely wiped out, and chances are you probably got all your loot taken too, all your resources are gone. And 9 times out of 10, when somebody looks at that, they're just, I'm done with the game. They don't even want to play anymore, because just to start that over, you're going to be rebuilding for at least a week, at least. And that's if they don't come back and hit you again, because you've got alliances that, they just don't care, and they'll break your back, and that was one of the problems here in this kingdom. We had an alliance that was constantly doing that, constantly farming everybody, setting everybody back, trying to over dominate. And pretty much that's what led to the branch out, which created NWO, and from there NW just grew up. It blew up, it grew, and it was just it dominated. They took over. They took over the entire kingdom and pretty much kept things at bay. Much props to that. Much props to those that sat down and cooperated to get that done and finalized. Because to tell you the truth, they actually restored the kingdom. They brought restoration back, and in a lot of ways, they were able to save a lot of players the grief of just leaving. Now, there are a lot of bases out in this kingdom that if you actually just roam around it, you're gonna find a lot of dead bases. And yeah, they're great to farm, but when you go around and see as many bases as I do, that kind of alarms you, because these are players that could be there with us, fighting and building alongside us, and they're gone. And unfortunately, those bases, they stay there and die. And then you just get these new recruits, and well, you get that kind of, do they make it? Don't they? Do they make it? Don't they? Do they give up? Don't they? And unfortunately, that's never a good sign. That's actually really bad, because when you're trying to grow in any way, whether it be an alliance, a city, a kingdom, when you have members that quit, stop playing, it becomes desolate. And then guess what happens? Well, the kingdom is rendered useless because you can't grow. Nobody wants to play. You can't align yourself. You can't defend. You can't attack. So basically, all you're doing is just kissing a whole kingdom goodbye. That's why you guys have to find balance. And there's been a few talks now that, we can sit down and try to find a new strategy to build an alliance to where, you guys can build a kingdom to where everybody can grow. Now, one of the situations that we did speak about was around the throne. Around the throne, you have this whole forest that goes around the throne. Now, as far as I know, you can only teleport to it and stay there. You can even farm there as far as when the resources pop up and the monsters. But as far as I know, you can't build buildings on it. Now, if I'm wrong, well, then I'm wrong. But in essence, if you really sit down and think about it, you know how many alliances are built around that forest? They take up almost, I want to say more than 75 to 80% of the area of resources of level 7 farm resources of wood, silver, iron. Now, here's the kicker. If you analyze it, if let's say you cleared that whole section off, the whole level 7 resource all the way around the kingdom, all around the throne, I'm sorry, and build, say, between the level 5 and 6, maybe station the buildings, your cities around the throne, keep the alliances around, the level 5s and 6, and keep the level 7 completely free to farm. That's kind of a decent food for thought, and it is doable for a kingdom that wants to be united. A kingdom that's at each other's throats may never pull that off, but if you think about it, pulling that off is easy. You just move the hardest hitters, the strongest members, up around the throne, and everybody else in between the level 5s and 6s, leaving the level 7s open to resource everything: wood, food, silver, iron, monsters. You'd be surprised on how much you would actually make out of that. I don't know. It's a thought. Leave it in the comments. What do you guys think of an idea like that? Building an actual alliance like that. A united alliance. Well, anyways, moving along. Now, guys, when you guys are in alliances, you're always going to have problems with other alliances. You guys are always going to war. You guys are always going to battle. Because unfortunately, as you're building, you're gaining resources that other members who are trying to build fast and try to raise their strongholds to higher levels, they need these resources. And unfortunately, well, the quickest way besides gathering, guess what? Is attacking. I've got footage which eventually I'm trying to put together, and this guy, I thought, had 51 million in resources. Turns out he had a lot more than that. He had over 200 million in resources, in food, iron, silver, wood, and he just decided to give up playing one day and said, you know what, you guys can go ahead and take what you want. And you know what the crazy part about that was? Who knows how long it took for him to build all that resource up. But what I do know is it took them less than a minute to take it completely away. And I've got the video to prove it. I'm putting that together so I can show it to you guys. But now, as far as when you're in the middle of war and battles, it's important to keep in mind the troops that you have. Because you see, if you have less, and I can't stress to you guys this, if you have less than 100,000 troops, you got to be very wise and very choosy on how you go about fighting. Okay? And I say that because within one march, you can send anywhere between 40 to about 75,000 troops. Okay? And depending on the battle that you're in, like say a stronghold 16, 15 to 17, you don't want to send a little bit of troops. They're going to get killed off real quick. If you're going to hit somebody, you got to hit them hard. But you already know you have to scout them just to see what they got there. And if the base is completely left unattended, you could probably sneak away with like a 25, 30,000, troop march. But you're not going to, maximize what you can get if you send a full march. And to those of you that are new to this game, I'm going to mind you, pay attention to the, to the veteran players, people, that are researching like me, that are studying like me, that are analyzing like me, and those that already know the game well. And they're going to tell you, as far as troops, that's a constant thing. So unfortunately, you're going to have to constantly be gathering, constantly participating, constantly playing. That's the only way to build a proper base. And that's just how it goes. And unfortunately, you have other people that need to make those upgrades too. And well, besides gathering, the only other way to get resources is, well, by battling and raiding the hell out of everybody in the kingdom, farming the entire kingdom, you know, which that's just how it goes. And a lot of people get mad. They don't understand that. And unfortunately, that's when that actually comes down to the way that the kingdom is being ran. You know, if you have disorganization, well, that's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have everybody at each other's throats. You know, you're gonna have constant battles, constant conflicts. And now with these new kingdom versus kingdom coming out, that's gonna be very interesting. How much of a game changer that's gonna be, I don't know. But what I do know is we're in talks in this kingdom about putting something together to where we can farm extra bases that we build rather than farm each other. In other words, you have your main bases, which we don't hit, and then we have our farm bases, which we do hit. So that this way we can continuously keep growing without having to suffer those huge losses. Because believe it or not, if your kingdom is weak and you come up against a strong kingdom like ours, well, guess what? We're going to whoop you, and we're going to take everything that you got, including the dog. Okay? And we'll rename it while we're at it. We'll call him Fido. But no, guys, on a real serious tip, you know, if you guys are going to build, you guys got to build properly. Okay? Now, there's two ways. Slowly and properly, and, well, fast and kind of rushed. But that's not bad either. I'm going to make another video on that as well, because there's a misconception on, you know, King of Avalon base rushing. Some people think that base rushing is bad, and in reality it's not, because this game does not consist of, you know, ranked player versus ranked player on a level, you know, base plane. It's not like Clash of Clans, where when you go searching for, you know, bases to raid, it matches you up because that's the algorithm that it offers. Not in this game. That algorithm doesn't matter. You know, if you're within striking distance, you're gonna get hit. It doesn't matter whether you're a level 1 or 1 million. You're gonna get hit. That's just as simple as that. So that's why I say that, you know, base rushing really doesn't matter, because there's a feature in the game that ties in with the embassy, which, like I said, I'll make a video on that explaining that theory. You know, but as far as building your base, yeah, there is two ways. There's proper and then there's improper. But there is a way to build a base fast, and I'm going to make a video on that, and I'm going to prove it alongside with the explanation on the theory of it. And that's only just because of that one ingredient, the embassy. Well, anyways, moving along. Now, when you don't have the proper troops to defend, you're better off just shielding. Throw your shield up and just stay out of harm's way. And if you got troops that are out there gathering, if you feel they're in danger, call them back. They can't get killed, you know, in transit. So if you know that an enemy is about to attack, you know, your guys over at a resource just to, you know, hurt you, then call them out. Call them back in so that this way they don't get destroyed and you don't lose out as much. Granted, you'll be set back on time-wise, but at least you'll have your troops. You know, now if you can escape and just continuously go ahead and gather, and they may just leave you alone, just stay shielded. That's basically your only other option. You know, you can't battle with anybody that is equipped when one isn't. You have to have the troops, you have to have the base setup, and you have to have the alliance. And I'm sorry, not all alliances are the same. You got some that are inactive, you got some that are new, that are not as strong or as together, and that's where, you know, having a good personality comes into play. You know, like I mentioned in the first video, you know, when you can make good friends, you can make good way. You know, and I've in a sense, I've been blessed because I've found good people in my path. You know, but yeah, but for the most part, take your time building. If you're in a rush to build, well, there is a way to go about it, and I'll make a video on that as well. But you know, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Please share, subscribe, like, and, you know, keep up the good, you know, keep up the play. Keep fighting. Peace.